Welcome to Rockbridge Farmstead Podcast.
Stories from our homestead and yours.
One story at a time. Hello and welcome back to the Rockbridge Farmstead Podcast. We're so glad that you're joining us. This is Greg.
And Marianne.
Well, we're going to start off by doing just a real quick farm update. There hasn't been too much going on for us because we got hit with the plague. Not the Rona, just a stomach virus that was really nasty.
Yeah, this is our second round of stomach viruses though, so I'm really over this.
Yeah. And it seemed to hit everyone in our house but me.
Yeah, so we being sick is actually not you.
Yeah, I didn't get sick.
Mostly because you're at work, so that helps you to stay healthy.
Yeah. So the kids got it, Marianne got it, and it wasn't really like everyone got it at the same time. It was like our son got it. He was down for about 3 days. 1 day of just really being sick and then about 2 days of recovering. And then we thought we were in the clear for a couple days.
I thought it was just something maybe he ate.
And then our daughter got it. And the same thing, down for a day.
Same exact symptoms,
being super sick, and then about 2 days of just recovering and sleeping all day. And then Marianne got it.
Yeah.
So I've yet to get it.
All I have to say is I'm tired of cleaning up after sick people and washing towels and blankets. I'm done with it.
Oh, yeah.
So
our kids are still pretty young, so
yeah,
they don't really make it to the toilet or a trash can.
No, they need help. So
as quickly as an adult would.
They need help, which means I help because Greg he can do a lot of things, but he cannot handle that. So
yeah, I can't handle throw up, and I just can't. So blood, poop, anything else like that, not a problem.
Did you know we were going to talk about all this fun stuff on the podcast today? Woohoo!
Yeah, well,
it is real life. So things have been kind of hard for us, trying to balance all of the normal things that we do and being sick and trying to take care of ourselves and feel better.
We have been able to get some stuff done, though. Last weekend was kind of the in-between time whenever everyone was kind of feeling okay. And we got a lot done as far as the garden goes. So we have a berry bush, or patch, I guess you could say, blackberries and blueberries. And last year, we were gone for a week on vacation, and the weeds just took over. It was like someone poured Miracle Grow on them. It
was in the middle of summer, so...
Yeah, and it wasn't really weeds. It was, what's that grass?
I can't remember. Some people call it monkey grass, but I don't really know what it's just a very thick grass that has it's like a rhizome, so it spreads on top of this, the roots are like a widespread root system. Anyway.
Yeah, so it
takes over quickly.
Yeah, it went crazy, and it was really hard to try to pull when it was green, so we kind of just let it go.
In hopes that when it dried out, that maybe it'd be easier to handle.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, it was still a chore.
Way easier than
because it was just, it all kind of died, and then it was just a blanket of thick, grassy hay stuff. So we raked up what we could, and then we took a torch, a weed burner torch, and cleaned it all up. So we do back to earth or back to Eden gardening.
Yeah,
so
no till. Just kind of relayering more fertilizer. Well, we use rabbit manure.
So our whole area up there where the berries are is just a thick layer of wood chips.
Yeah.
And this was just kind of growing on top of the wood chips, so it wasn't really...
Yeah, it wasn't permeating from underneath.
So the torch worked out really well. You can see some pictures of us using that on our Instagram. I will say... if you do decide to use a torch, be very careful. Have a hose.
Have some water.
Typically, you would use that on green weeds. And the whole idea behind the torch is you're not really trying to burn it to, get rid of the grass completely. If it's green, you're wanting to just get it hot enough that it basically...
shrivels up and dies.
And then it turns brown. And then you could go back through and burn it again and get rid of it. But we were burning dry
Yeah, so
It was almost
spreading.
like hay.
It was spreading quickly, so we definitely had to have the hose nearby and have it under control.
Yep, and just do small sections. And I mean, that whole area is fenced in with green grass around the edge of the fence. So, like, I don't think it would have took off anywhere, but it's better just to be careful.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
So that was our big project.
Yeah,
that was really the only thing that we've done the last 2 weeks.
Getting the blackberries all trimmed up, too, because they were just wild. Last summer was the year that they really grew out of control like that, because the years previous they were somewhat new, like they're just a couple-year-old blackberry bushes. So anyway, they were out of control last summer and just growing everywhere, growing new shoots in every which direction, and so we really needed to trim those back, trellis them. We talked about trellising them last year, but we just never got to do that because we had so much stuff to do last year. Yeah. So that just got left behind. So we did it this year. So that should help a lot with keeping things in control in that area of the garden. So that's exciting. And we got the strawberry and asparagus patch mulched. So that should help kind of keep all the weeds down in that area too. And I've seen the strawberries start to kind of grow out. So that's exciting.
Yep. As far as the bees go, we're pretty much just waiting on the weather now. We finally got everything that we needed built, painted, and ready to go.
Hallelujah, because that felt like I was painting stuff for 8,000 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still some more stuff to paint, but we got everything done that we need currently.
Yeah.
So I still have a bunch of boxes that need to be built, but they take up less space when they're not built than when they're built. So I think I'm just going to kind of do them a little bit at a time as I need them.
As needed.
I mean, I have plenty right now, so as long as I, stay on top of it, I don't want to get to a position where I need something and then I have to go build it real fast because that would stink.
And another fun update. So all of our chickens, our ducks, and geese are all in the same enclosure for the winter. And we do let them out, and they'll probably be out more as the weather gets nicer. But they all lay eggs in the same building. So we weren't sure if these eggs that we were getting were goose eggs or duck eggs. And I had put it on Instagram a couple times, and everyone was convinced that they were duck eggs. Or at least most people said that they thought they were duck eggs, I guess.
Yeah, and we got the geese and the ducks right around the same time. So they should, in theory, I guess, start laying about the same time, or so we thought.
But then I also learned that Muscovy ducks are seasonal layers. Somebody was telling me about that. So they don't lay year-round like a chicken would. They only lay seasonally. So anyhow, I discovered a different type of egg the other day in the coop, and it's definitely a duck egg. So the giant eggs were goose eggs. So we have one male and one female goose, which I suspected, but we don't really know what to do with goose eggs. They're kind of giant, and I feel like they have more of like a sulfury sort of taste. Like they're just a stronger taste. So anyway, I am just planning on leaving some in the coop and seeing if anyone will get broody and hatch some goose eggs. And maybe we'll have some little baby goslings.
Yeah, and we have gotten some duck eggs too. They're not much bigger than a chicken egg, to be honest with you. And you found out that they have like a waxy coating.
Yeah, which makes sense because they live, they're aquatic birds. So the wax would keep the eggs from it protects them, basically.
Yeah, and now I feel really silly, like, oh, we didn't know if it was a duck or a goose egg, but...
But that's how you learn sometimes.
Yeah, and we are by far not experts in homesteading. Like, we are learning just like everyone else is.
Yeah, and when we got the ducks, too, it wasn't really a planned out thing. It was just kind of like, oh, yeah, sure, we'll do this. So we mentioned that before, how we got the ducks on a previous episode, but... we didn't know what we were getting into when we got them, or even what kind of ducks they were when we got them. They were just babies, just hatched a couple days previous when we got them. So, yeah, we didn't know. We had no idea. We didn't know what to expect. So we just kind of are learning about them as we go along, and They're really fun ducks, though. They're supposed to be really good meat ducks. They're supposed to have like not a gamey or greasy taste like some other duck varieties, but we haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, no, we really do enjoy the ducks. It's kind of fun because like they're all in a fenced in area, I guess you could say, and the ducks, they fly out whenever they want and they go eat the grass and pick around, and then they fly back in when they're done for the day. And yeah, we really enjoy watching the ducks out there. 2 weeks ago, I know we mentioned it on the last episode, but 2 weeks ago we went and helped Tulip Acres. We helped them call a ewe, and that was a lot of fun. It was a good learning experience. We are friends with them, but it was good also just being around people that share the same mindset. And you can see some pictures of that on our Instagram. We actually lost quite a bit of followers on our Instagram because we posted those pictures, but that's okay. That's what we do. I mean,
yeah, we're not gonna hide the things that we actually do because that's the lifestyle we live.
Yep. So we butchered her, and our kids were around. Our actual 3-year-old watched pretty much the entire thing.
Yeah, she wanted to. We didn't make any of them watch it.
No,
she just wanted to. She was curious.
She was really interested. So we started the day. We said a little prayer and thanked the animal for its life, and then kind of did what we needed to do. And it was a really, really good experience. I have a little bit of experience butchering, never a sheep, but deer, and I've butchered a goat or two. So being able to just maybe pass along a little bit of info and kind of help them out was a good time. Mm-hmm. But I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up our intro. Like I said, this sickness has kind of wiped us out.
Yeah,
we haven't really been doing
honestly.
much. Typically this time of year, we'd be going full blast because time change, we get more daylight. But hopefully, fingers crossed, everyone is staying healthy around here from this point forward.
We're on our way back.
Yeah. So tonight we have Tooth Acres, Ariel and Ben Wood. Such amazing people. We really enjoyed our conversation with them. We were going to talk about bees and goats and moonshine. So it was a really good episode. Hopefully here in the near future, we get to go visit their farm, and hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Enjoy the episode, guys.
All right, and we're here tonight with Ben and Ariel Wood from Tooth Acres Farm. You can find them on Instagram as the Dental Goat.
Yeah, I think it's just Dental Goat, but yeah.
Dental Goat. We have been following you guys for a little while now, and you guys do have a lot of goats.
Yes, we have 13 goats now.
Oh, wow.
We have a mix of pygmy, Nigerian dwarf, and the myotonic fainting goats. Yeah, so we just got started with the myotonic goats, and our plan is to actually start breeding the myotonic goats.
Gotcha. And you picked those up in Kentucky, didn't you?
We sure did, yes.
Nice. Yeah. So Ben and Ariel are from God's country, West Virginia. We love West Virginia.
Well, you especially love it because that's where you're from.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
I mean, it's a very beautiful place.
Yeah. So you guys do have a really beautiful property. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Go ahead, Ben.
It's basically about 30 acres right here where we're actually living. Yeah, it's got a nice pond and a meadow. We also have 2 extra properties. One, it's about 125 acre property within half a mile of this place.
Oh, wow.
And another 200 acre property. These are both my family farms.
Okay. So you grew up farming, Ben?
I wouldn't say as much with the livestock. I've always dreamed of having the livestock, but I've just owned a lot of land and stuff like that with my family. I'm definitely really loving the fact that we're raising goats and chickens and ducks and all that.
But yeah, I think he had more of the farm, garden farming
Yeah,
experience.
I love gardening.
His whole family, that was their thing, is potatoes and
Self-sufficient. Yeah.
tomatoes and all that. They didn't have a lot of livestock. That's kind of been my dream.
Oh, okay. Well, how long have you guys been married together?
2000. No,
we
well,
got married in 19. We've been together since 2015, late 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And is that kind of when when you guys moved to this property?
Yeah, in 2015 we purchased this property, and my dream has always been tooth acres. So when he met me, I'm sure he heard me say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I want to have my own farm and name it Tooth Acres one day," So
So being the man I am, I always want to make her dreams come true. So I did anything and everything I could.
Oh, that's really sweet.
So there has to be a story behind Tooth Acres. Do you want to fill us in on that?
Yeah. So I've been in dentistry since 2006. I was a dental assistant, and then I became a dental hygienist, and then I went on to dental school. So I'm actually the only dentist in our small county here right now. So as you can imagine, being in dentistry for quite some time, I have a little bit of a tooth obsession. So Tooth Acres has always been something that I've loved. That on top of always wanting to have livestock and goats and chickens and have a life of self-sustainability has been just a driving force for me. So I was very blessed to find this property, and quite honestly, I had no intentions of staying in Calhoun County until I met Ben. I imagined I would be here for short term, just for some loan repayment and experience. And he and I met, and it was funny because someone I worked with was telling me, "Oh, I mean, this is kind of cliche, but you would never find anyone that has enough teeth here in Calhoun County to keep you here." And luckily I found someone that has 31 of them, of the 32. So
I told you you'd fall in love with me.
And he did. He said I was going to fall in love, and it's true. Here we are. I've been here for 7 years, and I'm very happy. I love it here. I love having the land and the homestead and being able to teach our children,
Right.
Gardening and sustainable living, and just being able to provide for ourselves, prepping and having canned food, and not worrying about if we need to provide for ourselves, because we know how. At this point, we have goats that can provide meat and chickens that can provide meat, and we know how to grow our own food. So it's such a blessing to be able to have that under our belt at this point,
Yeah, you nailed it right on the head there. That is really good.
Yeah, in today's uncertain times, you just don't know anymore. So it makes it nice to be able to teach your kids about, what they need to know how to do to be able to provide for their families later on in life and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, you go to the grocery stores now and it's wiped out.
It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And prices are getting higher. It's all just uncertain. So when you know that you can, number one, learn a skill that will never be, it's always going to be useful. And then you can provide for yourself. Yeah. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like having those homegrown things that you have from your own place. It is a big blessing for sure.
Right. So I have a question for you, Greg. I listened to your podcast, your introductory podcast, and you had mentioned that you're not totally into goats because you experienced a headbutt. So I really wanted to hear that headbutting story. If it's not already out there.
It's not, but I will share. So goats, when we first got goats, we didn't really know what we were doing. The first goats that we got were given to us. They were free goats. Never accept free goats, for one thing. But then we just acquired some more, and then they started like having babies, and we were like, oh, baby goats, let's just keep letting them have babies. And then it got to the point where we just had like 10 or 12 or something like that.
I don't even remember how many. Too many.
Yeah. And I also I wanted to sell some, but I really hate selling stuff. Like I would rather just like
sell 5 of them to one person.
Yeah, like I don't want to deal with people saying, oh, I'm going to be there at 5:00 and then never show up or all this crazy stuff. So like I posted them for sale and someone was like, I'll buy all of them. I was like, sweet.
I think it was good. 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And some big male goats too.
Yeah. So he showed up. He was just like this like 16-year-old kid.
Scrappy, skinny teenager.
Yeah. And our goats are not overly tame. Like they're not aggressive, but they're not like
at that
super
point,
friendly. Yeah, at that point.
Right.
And so I fed them all in the barn, shut them up in the barn because, little area, I can just grab them. Marianne can open the door. We come out one at a time.
We had our ropes ready to put it on their neck, take them to his vehicle or his trailer. We had it all planned out.
So the guy comes and like he just opens up the door and lets all the goats out. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
So we have
We're running up the hill.
Yeah, like there's probably an acre of pasture and we're just chasing all these goats. And we get them all but one. And he's a really just small, timid male goat. And I was like, there's probably 20 feet from behind the back of our barn to like the fence. And I was like standing there, and then the guy took off running and chased it. And it was coming between the barn and me. And I went to go like dive to grab it. And it went to go jump at the same time and just got me right in the face.
It was like what you see like two male goats like fighting. It's what it like launched itself right into his face. I was terrified.
No.
I was like, what? That had to have been so painful.
Yeah, it busted my lip all up, and I had like something for work where I had to like travel the next week. Like it was awful.
Did you tell the people at work that they should see the other guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Your boss said that you just mouthed off to your wife, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that what he said?
But no, I do like our goats. They're just not my favorite, and it's just because they're ornery. That's the only thing.
Out. They get into trouble.
Yeah,
they cause problems.
They don't really get out.
They can get out into the cow pasture next door sometimes.
Yeah.
They
they do
for
like
the wild
to do that.
blackberry bushes in the spring.
We use
we have always finds her way out.
Yeah. What kind of fencing do you use for your goats?
Woven wire.
Okay. See, I've always used electric because we didn't know kind of anything about goats, and that was the cheapest at the time.
Yeah.
When we built the fence. So I used 7 strands of hot wire, like in a 4-foot section, and I've never had a problem with them getting out.
It's just that one side of the fence, which is the cow pasture. It's actually the neighbor's fence that they get out sometimes.
We usually have, the only problem we ever have is older female. She's pretty much the dominant one, and she has horns, and sometimes she'll stick her head through there and get her head caught. But
yeah, we've had that too.
I took a board and taped a board to her head.
Yeah, I've tried that, and they
kept her from getting caught in there.
Yeah, because we inside of our barn, it's more. It's like 16 by 8. It's just kind of a shed more than anything, but half of it is divided off with a cattle panel, so the rabbits are in one side with the animal feed and like the metal galvanized trash cans, and then the other side is like shelter for the goats. And she would always get her head stuck in those cattle panels, like always.
Yeah, she did.
But she was like the head honcho, the dominant female, and then
that's what ours is.
Yeah, and when we got our Great Pyrenees, she just went nuts. And we brought home this little, 8-week-old puppy, and she just took off at a full run and threw it probably 10 feet. And
oh no.
Yeah, it was not good. So then I think he even still is a little timid because of that. It scarred him. So we ended up actually selling her. And that's what we bought the sheep with that. So
yeah.
Right.
So now
I'd love to have some sheep.
Yeah, we have three goats that they were all bottle babies. and then we have the sheep that are bottle babies. So all of our animals are nice and calm.
Mm-hmm.
The
Right
only
now.
disadvantage to that is as soon as you walk in the pasture, they're all just
under your feet.
under your feet and whatnot. But
I understand that.
so you guys have goats. What else do you guys have?
We have 16 chickens
Yes.
and 2 guineas.
Two ducks.
2 ducks. We rehomed a duck recently. It was bullying. We had 3 drakes. They're Pekin ducks, and we had 3 drakes, and one of them that we had just fostered into our house was just being so mean to another one. And we thought, oh, they'd get over it. I think I posted a couple funny videos of them, fighting. And I thought, oh, they'll just get over it. They'll work it out. But they weren't. I mean, he was just bullying him so
really
bad.
Stressful, the other one.
So we rehomed him, and we just have 2 drakes now. We really want to get some female ducks and have duck eggs. We actually had a female duck, and we think a hawk might have got her.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have 3 dogs. One is our livestock guardian dog. She's a Marima and an Anatolian mix.
Oh, okay.
She's wonderful. Such a great investment. And just like I think we've talked before, those dogs, they're just priceless on a homestead.
Oh yeah.
We haven't lost any livestock. We lost several animals before we actually bought her, and she's definitely.
Our chickens were cleaned out.
Yeah.
We lost 2 ducks. I mean, because of foxes, and then we just made the decision we have to get a livestock guard dog. We have to, and like you said, since we've had her,
it's been very minimal.
Yeah, knock on wood, as they say. We, I hope and pray she's been keeping everything away.
And not only keeping our livestock, but like the neighbors have cows and stuff, and I'll watch her, and she'll be over there, looking at the cows and making sure everything's over there on our neighbors' lands, safe and all that as well.
Yeah, our dog does that too.
Does she bark all night?
You'll hear her in the middle of the night if she hears something.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, Moses. I mean, I think we got him in.
He was born in May.
So I mean, he's not even a year yet, but he just barks all night long. As soon as it gets dark, you can hear him out there barking.
Yeah, I think he sees the cows and he's like, all right, let me just make sure nothing's going, like you were saying, he's just keeping an eye on everything. And that's his job. So it doesn't bother us. Well, we live far enough. He's far enough back that we can hear him, but it doesn't keep us up or anything.
Right.
And from what I've read is like they will do that. They bark a lot until they build up the confidence that they don't need to bark all the time.
That's funny.
They bark all the time just because they don't know how to scare off anything. But then once they build up the confidence, then they only bark when they need to.
Right.
Yeah, I think our dog's at that point. She's going on maybe 2.
She's probably like a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And
but she doesn't bark all night anymore. Like they said, I mean, she's.
We have 2 other dogs, a border collie and mountain cur, and she's a very intelligent dog.
Yeah, that's really
Is a bull mastiff, and
she's humongous.
She's the intimidator of our farm. So
you got
rolls up. They're
that's
always
quite the crew.
Yeah, so 3 very large
we rotate
dogs.
Our dogs. We leave our livestock guard dog out all night, and our other 2 we leave them up in the garage, and then during the day we put the livestock guard dog up in her kennel, and the other 2 go out and spend the day out.
That's cool.
So it's a nice rotation there.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea to give.
We have a cat too as well.
Oh yeah, our little
and my honeybees.
Oh yeah, we're
bees.
trying to get into the bees. We want to get up to 12 hives. We only have 2 right now. But
I just started 2 years ago with the honeybees, and basically started from my uncle. He gave me a swarm because I kind of mentioned to him that I was interested, and I actually had a just a box and stuff, and I was interested. Didn't know a whole lot about it. And he said, "Well, I'll help you get started." And he's an older, seasoned veteran of the beekeeping, and he gave me a swarm that he caught. So, I went into my first year a little bit blind, and ended up, they did great. He's like, you won't get honey your first year. We have a lot of clover.
Yeah.
in a farm, and they excelled. They did great. I don't know. I went from probably like 4 pounds of bees to probably 60,000.
Oh, wow.
Fall. So, but then there's my ignorance as a beginner. I didn't quite take care of the things from the mites and all that, and I think that's what ended up doing them in over the winter.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
first year, yeah.
but my first year, and so then I became better educated on what I need to do, and I ended up purchasing 2 packages of bees, and so far, knock on wood, they've done great this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
They've made it through the worst of winter. My biggest fear now is just trying to keep them, fed and everything like that, because they're doubling their population, tripling their population right now.
Yeah.
So just fun fact, if you want to know, when we knock on wood, I actually knock on Ben because his last name is Wood. So, that's our thing. You don't know, you can't see us right now, but that's what we're doing. I'm just kind of a little cat.
So are you feeding them right now, or?
I'm feeding them a fondant right now
Okay.
on top. I mean, I fed them all summer last year and was really just pushing. I wasn't worried about, the first year I was ruined because my bees made honey, and I was actually able to, get the whole brood chamber, and then I put a honey super on, and my other honey super on. Whenever I took that last honey super, I took the honey from it, and we got like 2 gallons of honey off of it.
Oh, wow.
And it was great. It was amazing honey. And then, I lost those bees, and
that was so disappointing.
It's extremely disappointing.
I mean, I'm sure you guys have lost the hive at this point. I mean, it breaks your heart. It's like losing, part
like
of
any other animal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got my new bees, and I fed them all summer and everything. And I was just really focused on just trying to get them to be healthy and all that. And
yeah, I mean, I think that's our main thing at this point is Ben, especially, he's been reading, the Bee Bible and Beekeeping for Dummies every evening.
Yeah.
And just trying to make sure that we can get a healthy hive.
Watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And everything.
This past summer, it was so much fun watching him suit up, and we went and we caught a swarm,
Right.
and
That's
that was
so
just
exciting.
so entertaining for me. Have you guys caught a swarm?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that fun?
Yeah.
That's so much fun. And watching him do that was just awesome to me. And then on a sad note, the 2 hives that we had ended up robbing our small swarm, and we lost.
Oh, no.
So that's another learning experience.
Chalk that up for another learning example.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's just you learn as you go, and then you learn to do better the next time, as long as you keep going. You can't really fail if you keep trying. I think if
right. I like that.
I've never had an expert over here. I'd like to invite an expert over to my farm and, really help me out as far as learning about the do's and don'ts, and really helping me just develop a better understanding of what I need to do.
But you're going to become that expert,
No,
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no expert, but we're not that far away.
Right. Over time. I mean, like from learning.
I'm just glad to see younger generations really getting into it, because I watch a lot of our beekeepers back, where we live, and it's all like older gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how
I don't see any
it is
younger
here.
generations into it. And I think it's extremely important.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're both in our 30s, and that beekeeping association that we've been a part of, I mean, we haven't seen anybody out of their 60s,
Right.
So even just back to getting our kids into these things,
Right.
instilling the importance of why bees are important to the
Right.
world, and to pollinating our garden, and we have an orchard too. We have a peach and apple and pear orchard right below our where we keep our bees, and that's incredibly important, so
Yeah, I think it's just like anything else. I feel like there's a lot of dying arts. A lot of people, and frankly, a lot of people just aren't willing to work hard at something that are younger. I think even our generation and the generation under us, there's a lot of lazy people that aren't willing to put in the work or learn about those things like beekeeping or canning and gardening. People aren't willing to learn. And so it is a little scary to think about, are these things going to be extinct one day? Like, are they going to be lost art forms that nobody really understands or knows how to do? And I think we've kind of already gotten there in some ways, but hopefully people like us can help revive those things and learn from the people that are older than us on how to keep those things going.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree.
Hey, have you heard of Abundance Plus? It's a streaming platform that has all kinds of videos for you to watch with your family or to learn about homesteading. So if that's something you're interested in, you should check it out today. Our affiliate link is at the bottom of this episode, and you can click that to see what it's all about. Also, you can save 10% off your first purchase with code ROCKBRIDGE10.
So what's the future of Tooth Acres Farm look like? What's some goals or plans that you guys have coming up?
So, we're under a website build right now. I didn't realize how much went into building a website and trying to integrate our e-commerce site into a website. So I do some homemade products. I started out making them, for our family, soaps and tooth powder and breath spray and some face wash, just different products that we use for ourselves here. And I thought, I'm just going to, market them and have fun with it. And if it goes somewhere, great. Maybe I can work less one day and put more time in the farm.
Yeah.
And I think you all have a similar vision with that from hearing, but also expanding our bees.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get it. I told a gentleman there yesterday, he was an older beekeeper, and I just happened to be working around where he was at. And I told him, I saw he had at least 12 hives in behind his house. And I said, I'd like to get up to 12 hives at my place. And he said, you say that now, and then later on you wind up with 18 to 20 or so. I just kind of laughed at it. And I know it's the amount of work it goes into taking care of, that amount of bees is crazy.
And money. Yeah. I mean, luckily we've fallen into the generosity of people who have kind of come out of beekeeping and given us so many,
I've been hoarding boxes and all that. So.
A vet who's supposed to come on site in the next month or so to test our herd and make sure everybody's healthy and kind of give us the green light for where we are as a farm, a goat farm, because we want to start selling myotonic goats eventually. We really, really love that breed. They're a gentle, sweet breed and much more hardy, we found, than our Nigerian dwarfs. We've had some heartache with the Nigerian dwarfs, parasites and all that. The myotonics, I mean, we're still early in the game, but they seem pretty hardy and pretty parasite resistant for the most part.
That's good.
We're looking at gardening. I've grew up gardening all my life. So.
Yeah. So we're going to expand the garden big time this year and herbs too. So I've had a couple great contacts for herbs through Instagram. And that's a goal of mine, is to grow a lot more herbs and maybe double our garden. I mean, how many would you say our garden, how large would you say it is right now?
It's mainly about a quarter acre right now. And I'm hoping to at least double that.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. That's a huge garden.
We do a really, really big garden. Right. We want to do a lot more potatoes and onions. We have this sweet onion right now that he and I just love.
Fell in love with it.
Yeah. What variety is it? Do you know?
It's a candy onion.
Okay.
Yeah. Candy sweet onion.
They're a lot like a Vidalia, but
yeah, I think I have some seeds for those that I bought last year, so I'm going to give those a shot.
They're amazing.
Yeah, we just started our seed, and we bought some sets too in case our seed doesn't make it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, but we want to sell our onion and our potato at, like the farmers markets.
Cool.
Everything else for the most part, like our tomato and all that, we pretty much can and keep mostly to ourselves. I think anybody that has a garden, they know if they do zucchini, chances are they're giving some of that away.
Yeah.
But I think I heard you all mention too in your podcast introduction that you're interested in trying to make some mead. That's something that we kind of would like to do. Ben over here has these moonshining plans, but I'm not really on board with that.
I mean, it is West Virginia after all. So
you gotta keep it traditional. I mean, we're sticking with
apple pie.
Ben, I'm on board with you, man. Let's do it.
100%. Yeah, that's a dream of mine.
I guess some laws have changed recently, and it's got them a little excited.
They're talking about legalizing, like, I think it's 50 gallons.
Oh yeah, really? That's enough.
Like family.
That's a lot
for their own consumption, of course. But
yeah,
I mean, but moonshine, honestly, if I'm sure, Marion, with tinctures and things like that, it's not. Yeah. We wouldn't just have to sell it or bootleg it or whatever they do. I don't know what they do with this. So, you can make tinctures and like my breath spray, for instance, to be transparent, does have some moonshine in it. To keep the essential oils or whatnot integrated into the mix. So
and there's propolis tincture. That's something we want to get into more, making propolis tincture. Yeah, and that has alcohol in it because you have to have something to.
Yeah, and I would much rather use a farm made product than Everclear. I mean,
yes.
Well, I guess we can drive down to Kentucky when Ben gets his still. And
I mean, that would be really cool to see.
Yeah.
I learned basically a lot of moonshining from a friend of ours he's a fifth generation of Devil Anse Hatfield.
Oh wow. That's cool.
That all of his life, and he's to this day he's actually a legal distillery, and he's taught me so much. And
legal. I don't know if that came out right. Legal. Yeah.
Legal. Okay.
Legal. Yes, we heard.
Yeah.
But he's taught me a lot, and I'm thankful, definitely, because I mean, I always wanted to be in the moonshining.
Yeah.
To an extent, and she just shook her head at me, and I was like, it's like a lost art. It's like beekeeping,
Yeah. I mean, if the stuff hits the fan, right. you gotta, like you said, you gotta have it for medicinal purposes, right? And maybe
if we want to,
Yeah. And maybe to relax a little bit sometimes too.
Yeah. But I'm definitely, I'm definitely interested. Those are, I always tell her, I'm like, my birthday's coming up. I'm like, you got me a moonshine still or something coming? She just shakes her head, not happening.
I'm still trying. You all have rabbits, right? I'm still trying. Yeah. I was offered rabbits recently for free. Everything. We've got feed. We've got the cage, Ariel. Take the rabbits. He will not let me have rabbits.
I told her, I said, what are you wanting me to do? I said, I'm going to have to build something for you because every animal I get, I have to do something.
Yep.
Build a castle, basically. That's something. I said, can we just let them go out and be free? And she's like, no, I don't think we can do that. I said, well, I don't really want to have a caged up rabbit. Well, and I have a bull mastiff that would love to eat.
Oh, yeah,
that's true. In cages, don't they? I mean, your rabbits, you probably keep in a enclosure, right?
Yeah. We keep ours in cages that are hanging.
Yeah. So,
and you can also get like a little, like the dog playpen areas, and you can put them out in the grass sometimes too, so that they can get out. But
there are people that have really good success with
rabbit tractors,
rabbit colonies, where they're basically you put the fence like a foot or two down in the ground and you just fill it up with rabbits and they just kind of live like, like a 10 by 10 kennel type situation.
But then if you have male and female,
I know that.
I would love that.
All I see is me a lot more work.
Yeah.
I'm already swamped.
Yeah.
I do keep him really busy. I mean, we both work.
I just built a new barn this fall.
Yeah. We both work 40 hours a week. And then, so our routine, if you imagine our lives as we work, 7:30 to 4, we come home and then we work from 4 to dark, make dinner, get kids to bed, and
completely
Repeat.
understand.
Yeah, so you know.
Most people talk about going home and watching TV, and I haven't watched TV, and I don't know how
we don't
long.
have we don't even have
Dish or
dish
anything.
or whatever TV is. We have like some Netflix, but it's like
It's seldom watching TV
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we completely understand that. And some days, to be honest, I am envious because I think about people. It's like, oh yeah, I just went home and played video games. Well, I don't play video games, but like just the idea of not having to do anything. But
yeah, for 3 seconds you might get
Yeah,
envious, right?
exactly.
But then you're like, wait, this is really awesome what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Then you think about all the great things that you get to
Yeah.
experience and that your
Except-
family gets to experience.
except on the days when I know I have to come home and cut the grass.
That's true. Yeah, you don't.
I hate cutting the grass. It's such a waste.
Oh, you should see me cutting the grass.
Listen,
I'm flawless.
the growing doesn't bother me. The grass growing doesn't bother me. It's the winter going out there and hauling water, literally.
Oh
First
yeah.
thing you wake up, and then in the evenings, and winter is awful. I'm
Yeah.
not a winter fan.
But back to grass cutting, that was a joke. I'm the
She
worst.
is awful.
I love to get on the riding lawnmower and just I don't for nothing. I don't have any rhyme or reason in the way I go. I just love to drive that thing.
She reminds me of whenever the people call to offer insurance. I'm like really wanting to take out an insurance policy on my lawnmower. That's how
Yeah.
bad she is.
Is it a zero turn?
No, it's a
just a regular lawnmower.
Oh, yeah.
And she scares me to death.
Husqvarna, and I
She only knows one
Once-
mode, and that's
I like to
wide
go
open,
really
and she thinks
fast.
it does a great job.
I like to go really fast. And I don't do a good pattern.
She tells me she has it done. I go out and look, and it looks like a really bad haircut.
But I had fun.
She has fun.
I'm honestly excited to do that this summer again. He won't like it. He'll go back out there and fix it. But you know, we love being out here because I'm sure there in Kentucky you can forage a little bit. I mean,
Mhm.
we're so excited for ramp and morel season.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
guys have that where you are?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if morels are really that popular here. I'm from Michigan, and it's very popular there.
Yes, awesome.
I want to do some ginseng hunting at some point. I think that'd be kind of cool.
That
But
starts in September here.
yeah,
You can harvest it, right?
People right now are just over harvesting that. I mean, people
yeah,
are
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
doing it in a way.
In West
Yeah.
Virginia, they have where it has to be a 3-prong, what they call a 3-prong, before you can
Mhm.
actually
So it's
harvest
old
it.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
What
definitely things to
ginseng?
forage here. There's wild elderberry and I mean all kinds of other things too. But we don't
Yeah.
have a lot. We don't have wooded property. We just have open pasture.
Yeah.
So
Right.
hopefully sometime in the future, maybe we can one day buy more property that has
You guys should
Has
come down to
woods.
our property sometime.
Yeah, or just come here and you can come to our property. We have ramps for days.
Yeah.
Some ramps and some morels and
I
maybe
haven't-
get some to transplant. Try to transplant some in your homestead.
Yeah, I'm working on trying to learn about cultivating mushrooms. So that's on my list of things to learn and try this year. Just do like inoculated logs in my garden and grow
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. I haven't really heard of anyone in Kentucky hunting morels. I'm sure they do, but like, yeah, growing up, my stepdad used to go all the time. And I was
Yeah,
like
they're delicious.
I was a teenager, and that was not what I was interested in.
Right.
like, I remember going with him a couple times, and like he kind of showed me like there was like this little tree type thing that he was like, it has, I don't know, some kind of leaf. And he was like, if you see that, typically there's mushrooms around, but I never found any ever.
Come to my farm and we'll cook them up for you sometime.
Oh man,
That's
and our
so
kids
good.
love them. Like our kids, they love the morels.
we
They
have
think
them,
it's
we
such
have
a
them
treat.
going from hill to holler. They just love it. They're all
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we're going to be taking a road trip before too long.
Yes, come on down.
You are so welcome. Absolutely.
Well, that'll be fun.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and just about wrap everything up. Before we do you guys have any homestead wisdom that you'd like to share with anyone?
I guess from my standpoint, it's just, slow and steady wins the race. Doing your research, if you're interested in bees, jump in, do the bees, but research, read your books, find your local beekeepers, learn from the people around you, find a community to really help you and lift you up. If you're interested in gardening, same thing. I mean, find someone who knows how to garden, but definitely get after it, do it. Start small, even if it's in a pot on your front porch. For livestock, for us, goats were number one for us. Of course, they're not for everybody because you might get a little headbutt, but find someone who that's what they know. And if you're going to purchase them from them, form a relationship so you can learn from them. And if you have an issue with parasites or an illness, you can contact them and you have that backup for education and for help. But 100% of the time, just have a community around you that helps you and supports you, and start small, think big, and don't stop.
That's great advice.
Perfect.
As far as the bees go, I mean, I'm passionate about the bees from learning from them, but just don't give up. Even if you happen to lose your first hive or two, just, stick with it, because it's very important that we keep the bee future looking positive, and it's a very important insect to our ecosystem that we really need to work with.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, it's been great. I feel like we could probably talk all night.
Yeah. Really, thank you
You'll have
guys
to come
so
down and
much.
visit sometime.
I hope we get to see you face to face. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Once again, we really enjoyed this episode with Ben and Ariel. They are just really good salt of the earth people. So make sure you check them out on social media, Dental Goat on Instagram. We're really hoping maybe we get to go visit them, see their homestead shortly. Our 3-year-old really wants to go fishing in their pond. So thanks again for listening, and happy homesteading.
Thanks so much for joining us today. If you wouldn't mind subscribing and giving us a rating so that other people can find our podcast, that would be wonderful. Also, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, our website, rockbridgefarmstead.com, or find our Etsy shop under Rockbridge Farmstead.